All right, guys, I'm Lakin. I'm here with True You, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about relationships in recovery, romantic relationships in recovery. All right, so let's talk about some of the things that absolutely you want to watch yourself from doing. Anything to do with insecurities and overthinking and second guessing yourself. Those couple things are like poison to a relationship. And so, knowing yourself, knowing what you're prone to, being honest with yourself, and then being able to communicate that to your partner is really helpful. What I would say about that is that I really, really encourage you to analyze a situation one time. Analyze it one time and then pick one person that you're going to share it with. Someone that you trust, someone that you value their opinion, so that when they give it back to you, you're going to really hear what they have to say. It's so, so important for any success, whether it's business, personal success, relationship success, family success, that you're able to hear outside objective opinions about what they're witnessing, right? When we're in the situation, our thoughts are clouded by our prior experiences and our emotions. And so it's very common for us to, mold the situation into the opinion that, or the thought, or the description that fits us better, right? So that's just something to be aware of. All right, number one, own your shit. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You need to own your shit, right? When you fuck up, you miscommunicate, you don't follow through, you don't deliver. It's important to understand that the other person, the other party needs to hear that. They need to hear that because they need to know that you acknowledge it and you're not going to do it again. If you don't acknowledge it and you don't communicate it to them, what'll happen is that over time they'll start to lose trust in you. And a relationship cannot exist without trust. Number two, communicate. You have to communicate, you guys. Even when it's uncomfortable, right? Even when you think it's unnecessary, you don't really need to tell them that, especially at the beginning. I have a different communication style than my partner. And it's important that we both understand our communication styles are different. You know, whether you've figured out what your communication style is or whether you have figured out what your partner's communication style is, you got to evaluate it regularly and make sure you're doing your part to go out of your way to communicate in their language, right? So what I know is that I'm really good at doing stuff the way I like to receive it, right? The way I like to hear communication and the way I like to receive gifts or love, I'm really good at giving that out, right? But if it's in a new way, I have to learn that process. I have to kind of reprogram it in my head and be like, all right, instead of doing my regular behavior, I'm going to work really hard to using this behavior with them because they really enjoy it, right? And that's only going to be possible if you know yourself and you have some strong self-esteem, right? So learning yourself, learning if you have any specific triggers in, around a romantic relationship or even broke into the relationship, whether it's around communication or, sexual intimacy or trust. Those are all very common to have triggers, and it's important to communicate that with your partner. If you choose to share the experience where it came from, I believe it's helpful. It's not necessary. But letting your partner know that you have these triggers and you want to work through them and you want to work through them with them will not only help your guys' trust a lot, but it'll allow you to connect on a deeper level because you're opening up and letting that other person in to meet you where you're at. And for so long, you've had walls up around those situations because they've been really painful, or you haven't had the tools or people to know how to process that. And so what you're asking is saying, I feel safe enough with you that I'm willing and able to work through this now. And I'd like you to help me. And your partner, or if your partner is telling you that, it's your job to say, I understand that. And those are all valid, right? Like what you're feeling is valid. It's scary to feel like you're telling a secret that you think you're going to be judged for, or even tapping into that secret because it's been so painful, you've just like locked it away forever. So it's important to acknowledge that, guys. I mean, we're growing up, right? Or you're grown up. And I'm talking about emotionally. I'm not talking about what your actual birth date is, okay? Because there's a lot of older people walking around that are fucking acting like teenagers. So I don't want to hear like, oh, you're such a young millennial, or did you just call me old? Let's just be real, okay? It is what it is. All right. Um, so the last one that I would say is non-negotiable. If you want a healthy relationship, you have to know this. You need to know your partner's love language, and you need to know your love language. And so what this is just how you prefer to have love shown for you. So if I say, what would be the best way for me to show you that I love you? What are your favorite things, right? What are things that really help you out? What do you really appreciate? What do you value? Maybe he might say time. Time's really important to me. I really want to spend time with you. Or mine is acts of service. So I'm like, if you do anything that's going to save me time, like, I love that because it gives me time back, which I think is the most precious gift, because we only have so much. But what I have done is my partner and I have sat down, and you don't even have to read the book. You can look at the 5 love languages and you can go through them. And if you don't know, if you can't identify yours, what you can look at your past and see, like, how did my parents show me love? How did prior relationships show me love? Here's the kicker. What do I do to myself to show myself love? And if you're not sure, then that's a perfect place to start. Go out and buy yourself a gift and do active service for yourself. Start to spoil yourself. Give yourself just some time to do nothing. Maybe do a bath. This is important because you need to know how to love yourself and show yourself love, as well as tell a partner how to love you. And so part of knowing who you are is basically being able to communicate to other people what you really like and enjoy. Because if someone loves you, they're going to want to give you things that you like and enjoy, because that's like the inspiration of love that we get, right? I could care less about some of the stuff my partner likes, but I'd learn about it, and I get him things that fit in those categories, because to see his face light up, that's what it's about. It's not really about me forcing the stuff I like on him. I mean, that's crazy. We're different people. Oh, and that actually reminds me, it's super important to find a partner that complements you, right? That complements the way your brain works and the way your feelings flow and, where you're at. It's very important. I always thought that love was something you just found. And I tried to get myself into relationships who, I just was infatuated with. And I thought that resembled love, and that our relationship would just be happy ever after. But what happened is that the infatuation ended. It faded away. And I was stuck with people who didn't really work well with me, right? I mean, take away all the toxicity of being an addiction and, the abuse that I went through as I was little, like take all that away and they still would not be a good fit for me. So today, though, what I realized, I was driving and I thought, I didn't understand that you're supposed to look for a partner first, someone who could be your partner, who will have your back no matter what, who can help teach you things and you can teach them things. And if it was just you two against the world, you guys would be okay. And so once you find someone like that, through trial and error and turbulation and time, that's when love develops, So I just wanted to put that out there because I actually thought, I wish someone would have told me that. My mom wasn't really in the picture often. She was working a lot. And so I needed to know that. Anyways, I hope this helps someone. If you guys have any ideas about stuff you want to hear about from me, let me know. All right. Bye, guys.